Come to order. Welcome to our board meeting. The pledge tonight will be led by Aaron Holiday.
Attention. Salute. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's time for a moment of silence. We've had a real loss here in the system. Dr. Linda Kennedy, longtime principal at Smyrna Middle School, has passed away. So I ask, as we have this moment, if you'll keep her family in your prayers. Okay, thank you. Approval of the agenda. Oh, wait. Is that right? I don't have my right glasses on. Yeah, agenda's next. And I'm messing up in front of the visitor. She'll note it in her report.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion's adopted. Consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? We looked at this at our work session on Tuesday. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion's adopted. I don't think we have any visitors who want to speak, but we do have with us Miss Vicki Atkins, a board member from Wilson County Schools, who is here to, I guess evaluate is the right word, to take a look at our board as part of the application process for the TSBA Board of Distinction. So, Ms. Atkins, we appreciate you making the trip down.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for your time.
We also have four Rutherford County teachers that are here as part of a graduate course. Hi, guys.
Welcome. I think we're ready for number 7.
Summer school calendar. The instruction department is requesting approval for the 2012 summer school calendar. Plans are for a middle and high school course offering. Middle school will be held at Oakland Middle and Rock Springs Middle, and high school sites will be at Riverdale and Smyrna High School. Middle school and high school offerings will be available during the first semester from May the 29th through June the 22nd, 2012. The high school only second semester is scheduled for June the 25th to the July 20th, 2012. Transportation services are not provided. Tuition will remain at $100 for the middle school, $100 per half credit for the high school, and $200 for driver ed. And just so we got a short agenda, I'll just kind of go back over summer school in Rutherford County. All counties, matter of fact, I'd say very few counties do summer school. It's a pretty expensive endeavor. It costs us roughly $200,000 to $250,000 to operate it. We do get some state money, but not very much. Summer school also contributes greatly to our graduation rate, giving kids a second chance, allowing some to even get ahead to graduate early. Also, some of the middle schoolers that are in need of remediation also partake in summer school. I think we had, how many? We typically have about 800 in high school, don't we, over the course of the summer, and not 300 in the middle school. Yeah. So quite a few students do take advantage of it, and I hope that we're able to do it for a long time to come because it is beneficial to kids. All that said, recommend that you approve the 2012 Rutherford County Summer School Calendar as presented, and to retain tuition costs is at $100 for middle school, $100 per one half credit for high school, and $200 for driver ed.
So moved. Second.
Quick question, Dr.
Yes, sir.
If I may. Am I not correct, Mr. Gill, that we used to run buses for special education during summer school?
Well, we actually ran them for regular ed students too, and I think do we still run a special ed bus or two? Yeah, yeah. Yeah. But we eliminated the big buses for regular ed kids because basically there were only 3, 4, 5 taking advantage. It was a pretty expensive endeavor, so we did cut that out. But as Don said, there's still some in-house stuff.
How does the tuition work with free and reduced students?
They go for free. Yep. and there's no reimbursement to the district, so in retrospect, anything we put, anything we pay out is paid out by the district.
Mhm. I wonder would it be a similar percentage of pre-introduced in the summer school?
It's about, maybe higher, I'd
Well,
say.
you would guess it might be higher.
Jeff, do
yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Other questions or discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion is adopted. Number 8.
Laverne Middle School classroom walls. Principal Carrie Holman has requested permission to build 3 classroom walls at Laverne Middle School. The walls will be located in halls 600, 700, and 800, creating 3 extra classrooms at a cost of approximately $2,000 each. These 3 classrooms combined will cost about 10% of a new portable. Engineering and Construction Department have met with the State Fire Marshal's Office and received approval for construction. We would like to extend this recommendation to the 4 other middle schools that are built on the same plan, including Blackman, Christiana, Rock Springs, and Siegel, when the need for the extra space arises in these schools. As we discussed the other night, the old, I shouldn't say old, the previous middle school design that we used at Siegel and Rock Springs and Christiana and Laverne, the wings are different than what we currently do, which are straight out and there's not any wasted space. It's part of the good work of our staff here, redesigning and getting a little more mileage out of our middle school. And we see an opportunity here to take advantage of it. That said, we're recommending that you approve construction of walls for classrooms at Laverne Middle, Blackman Middle, Christiana Middle, Rock Springs Middle, and Siegel Middle in halls 600, 700, 800 as the need arises as an option for added classroom space instead of purchasing portables.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion's adopted. Number 9 is the policy manual review, a section for this month. Any questions or comments on that? Again, you don't necessarily have to raise them at the moment of a board meeting. Anytime you see one that you think needs reconsideration, let Angel know and we'll put it on the next policy committee agenda. Number 10, processing candidate superintendent files. Aaron explained on Tuesday what this was about. Aaron, do you want to say it again just so that we...
Indeed. When we met with the TSBA consultant, we discussed a number of different things and then had individual meetings following that. In the individual meeting that I had, the TSBA consultant indicated that the applications that come in for director of schools could be scanned in and sent electronically to the board secretary and could be available to the board members here rather than at TSBA. And it would be at no additional charge to the board, but he did ask that the board intentionally make that request and have that available. I asked the question and he clarified that public access to those documents would still go through TSBA, as those things have to be logged and accounted for correctly, and this would be for the board members' access here at the board meeting. So I'd like to make that in the form of a motion so that we can adjust in that manner.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Everybody clear what we're talking about? Doesn't cost us anything and we'll make access to the files easier. So I think that's a good move. Aaron, thank you for investigating that. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion's adopted. One other note about whenever it was, we had our special call meeting on the search last week or 2 weeks ago. I know you have the date February 15th. I'm not sure that we were certain at that time we were having a lunch. So if you can carve out some room in your schedule around lunchtime on the 15th, that'll be a lunch in which we invite certain office holders and other leaders to come and in a meeting presided over by Randy Bennett, see what sort of thoughts they have about our search. So Joyce is still working on the details of that. But it'll, noonish on the 15th. It would be nice if we could make an appearance. Again, I don't know that we have an incredibly active role there, but it would be good to have some informal conversation with those folks. Certainly the commission and the mayors probably of our municipalities and anyone else we can think of who might be interested in have some thoughts on that. And then that evening, the other thing, and I don't think you don't have the details worked out on that, I don't believe yet, Joyce, on the evening meeting? Or do
No,
you?
I think it's gonna be around 6:30. The community.
Yes. Be at one of the high schools, I presume, or could be here, I guess, for that matter. I
I was
don't know.
thinking about here. but
Okay.
I
No,
believe it's
that's-
a high school.
Well, I think this room probably be big enough.
I think all the meetings will be.
Okay. Be easier on Randall, I imagine. That's one, again, where our attendance is not mandatory, but we might want to show up on that one just to hear firsthand what the folks have to say, if anything. The other meetings that take place that day, just as a reminder, we're really not encouraged to attend with the employees and the teachers and so on, just to facilitate a better discussion. Okay? Tim?
May I ask about the, where evaluation, that's one of the parts that we added on to the contract, that we're gonna work on the evaluation model as we go through this. How's that gonna work into the schedule?
My understanding is that Randy recommends that we do that after we've got the superintendent in place, that evaluation, and that makes
Okay.
some sense, that person should have a hand in saying,
Okay.
it's still our decision, but get their input in terms of what the goals are, what would be reasonable measurements for that goal. So that was his recommendation anyway. Okay, general discussion. Wayne?
Let you pass those
Okay.
over. Just yesterday, just reading through some of the stuff that I get from time to time, was an article from SCORE about basically the title is the value or value added. It was a Harvard-Columbia study. Have we talked about that before? I don't recall that we have, but this study was contained 2.5 million students from grades 4 through 8 to their age of 28. And it was just saying that it didn't really matter about social economic status, that with a high value added teacher, that these people or these students, eventually it equated to $250,000 of added income based on that history of being with a high value teacher, high value added teacher. And I mean, that's a long time, and that's a bunch of students. I just found it fascinating that we concentrate on value added so much, and really this says it all, I think.
Well, I think we've seen before, haven't we, Harry, that their academic performance is certainly affected by how effective previous teachers were in terms of value added.
Yeah.
And this sort of takes it one step further by
Yes,
saying
it does.
that the income potential is also different. Which I had not seen that, Wayne, so thank you for bringing that.
And it was
To
a
our
New York
attention.
Times article, so you'll have
Okay.
to go online to get that. So,
Okay. Other discussion? Terry?
How we come along on high school?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Gary, go ahead.
We step up there, Gary.
We're making progress. The rain dampening this a little bit, but we now have 50,000 square feet of slab down. We'll continue to put up masonry walls. In 3 weeks, the first shipment of structural steel for the roof should be arriving. So most of the utilities are in, still putting some footings in on the north and the east side, but it's coming along well, making great progress. And also, while I'm at it, I'll just tell you a little bit
bit about Eagleville. We made a trip out there yesterday. They're struggling with getting footings out there in that basement. So we made some arrangements with our consultant and inspector on the way to approach that to go ahead and get those footings in regardless of the weather. So the excavation's done out there, most fire line work, storm sewer, that type of stuff is completed. So we'll be seeing quite a bit of progress on that in the near future.
How about, one other question, how about, how are the roofs holding up in all the rain?
Well, we're doing good. We have a leak occasionally. A lot of times it could be a drain pipe off the roof or something else that is tagged as a roof leak, but it's not actually. It could be a boiler pipe or something of that nature that's sweating. We've made a lot of progress over the last few years. I remember in 2004 when I came, I would get 40 calls on a rainy week. Now we have that streamlined. We get maybe 3 when it rains. So we've made a lot of progress. I'll be asking for probably $1.5 million this year to replace 3 of our older roofs when it comes up to capital improvement. So just keep that in the back of your mind.
Are they all rubber roofs, or are they built up too?
We're getting rid of the built-up roofs. They don't transition the heat and cold cycles very well. And we're putting taking the stone off of those, putting a recovery board down, and then putting a fully adhered membrane. And we've also moved to white now to keep from having so much solar gain on those things in the summertime.
But you know, Gary, in connection with that statement about the $1.5 million, but that typically roof repair comes out of the 5 cents we get from the county commission, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And 5 cents equates to what, Jeff? 2.5 million. So we, you know, and that was something we started 3 or 4 years ago when the new BEP money came in. So that's a good nickel.
It is, and along with the roof, we've also managed to replace all of the old HVA systems. We've caught our paving up so that it's in good shape. We stay on top of that, and just various other odds and ends that are big money line items that doesn't come out of the normal school budget. So it's been a great help.
Might also add about Stewart's Creek, Mr. Hodge. We've met Ms. Barnes, Mr. Sandvik, Mr. Odom, myself. We've got a protocol we're working on, put in place for transferring teachers, number of teachers go to school, equipment arrival expectations, and all the things. So it's laid out so whomever becomes the principal there, it should be extremely helpful with respect to making their job a little easier. Secondly, and we'll bring that to the board here in the next month or 2. I don't see if there's particularly a rush there. We also had talked earlier about when the principal might be hired. I personally anticipate maybe 6 months out, 6, 7 months out, 8 months out, something around the first of the year. Also, we've done, we've dabbled with the zone some too. We'll have a timeline that we'll present to the board for when we think you ought to be first acclimated to the zones. Secondly, when we would have public meetings and all those kind of deals. And in conjunction with that, we'll also give an explanation for why we're doing what we're doing. So we're not sitting idly by. Rather, we're working hard to make sure it's a smooth transition.
Appreciate that. That's going to be a major issue this fall. Mr. Blair is looking forward to it, I know. Grant.
I assume, of course you left the podium, but I assume that we're still ahead of schedule despite the recent rains. We got a pretty good head start, did we not?
We're always at least on schedule and on budget all the time.
What office are you running for? Did you watch the debates?
We are being affected by the weather, but that's not going to affect the end product. We keep tweaking schedule. The contractor submits an updated schedule every month with his pay application. So we keep a very close eye on that, and then look and see if the schedule actually jives with what is in place in the field. So we're going to be open on that.
I think since we've been here, we've had 12 additions and 8 new schools. We've made them all, haven't we, Gary?
We have.
I'd say with all this rain, that we have a clue of where the water will be going and how it will go.
Well, we've known that for some time, but we're definitely putting it where it needs to go.
Okay.
Other discussion? Tim?
Just want to make a personal comment. Linda Kennedy had an opportunity, pleasure of teaching with her at Roy Waldron Middle School and then later at Laverne High School. Known her always to be a class act. And, her husband as well, good family to come from, and I just regret much that she's gone through what she's gone through. And I think in some ways this is a timely thing. There are things worse than death, and I think Linda's gone through that, and I wish her well.
Thank you. Other discussion? Just want to thank Oakland High School, Mr. Spurlock, the principal, Ms. Hodges, secretary, for providing dinner for the board. That was a nice treat. This is School Board Appreciation Week. Do you appreciate us, Mr. Gill?
Most of you.
Okay, I'm sorry I asked.
You watched the debates too, didn't you?
Oh, man.
With that, we're adjourned.